Hi, my name is Dr. Joanna Horton. I'm a teacher of chemistry at GCSE College. This is a short video to help describe the structure of the atom. The first question we need to ask is, what is an atom? An atom means it is the smallest particle an element can be divided into. It means indivisible, and it comes from a Greek word meaning indivisible or can't be broken up, from the Greek a meaning not and tomos meaning cut. While we know that physicists have now split the atom, this actually makes new elements. The atom is still therefore the smallest particle an element can be divided into, while still being that same element. The ancient Greeks and Indians thought that everything must be made from small particles that can't be broken up anymore. And they thought that no matter how finely you ground most materials, you still had those same materials there, just in smaller pieces. This theory was not revived until the Renaissance, when people began to reread ancient texts and use these theories to better explain their results. Antoine Lavoisier found that they helped explain how gases behave. He defined the atom as a basic substance that cannot be broken down further by the methods of chemistry. John Dalton was a science teacher from Cumbria, and in 1805 he used this theory to explain why things reacted in constant ratios. He proposed that each element was made up of a different type of atom, and that these atoms combine to make compounds such as water, which has 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom. He saw atoms like tiny snooker balls, small and hard. The physicist J.J. Thomson in 1897 then discovered the electron. This was the first subatomic particle ever discovered. He thought then that the atom must be like a plum pudding, with electrons like little plums surrounded by a pudding of positive charge and mass. I think it's a bit more like a chocolate muffin, with the chocolate chips being like the electrons in the muffin of positive charge. However, in 1909, a professor called Ernest Rutherford told 2 of his students, Geiger and Marsden, to investigate whether the plum pudding model was right. He theorised that if all the mass and electrons were evenly distributed in the atom, that these particles should go straight through the atoms. However, when he did the experiment, 1 or 2 bounced off. So this meant there must be a concentrated lump of mass inside the atom. So he called this the nucleus. All the mass and positive charge in the middle, and electrons orbiting around the outside. This model explained the experimental results much better. Because all the mass was in the middle, there was enough there to make some of these particles bounce off. Later, in 1913, a scientist called Niels Bohr worked out that electrons lived in energy levels, which we call shells. And this now gives us the modern model of the atom. This is where protons and neutrons live in the nucleus, and electrons orbit in shells. Protons have a charge of +1 and a mass of 1. This is in relative units. Neutrons have no charge, they're neutral, but have the same mass as the proton. Electrons are negative, having a -1 charge, and have almost no mass. Their mass is nearly a 2,000th the mass of a proton or a neutron.